Hi, welcome to Anatomy 3, I guess. Anatomy third quiz. We're on chapter 20. We just got started with it the other day down through rheumatic fever, okay? Chapter 20. I'm going to put chapter 20 up here to help me identify this segment right here. In A and P, don't have a chapter 20 in any other thing, so I'll just go ahead and finish it up right there. Now, let's talk about the fibroskeletal system. In a few minutes, we're going to talk about cardiac conduction time. Cardiac conduction, pacemaker activity of the heart, the rhythm of the heart. Well, for us to have a certain rhythm of the heart, the atria beat while the ventricles are relaxed, then the ventricles contract while the atria are relaxed. There's got to be a separation between the electrical activity of the atria and the ventricles. So the fibroskeletal system does a couple different things. It insulates the atria from the ventricles. That's the first thing that the fibroskeletal system does. It insulates the atria from the ventricles. I want you to write that down. The second thing that it does, it anchors the valves. It anchors the valves, okay? So that's the function of the fibroskeletal system. I want two functions, all right? Now I'm not going to put those up there because we just mentioned those, write those. 3 coronary arteries. By figure 20-9, the upper left-hand corner of the diagram here lists several coronary arteries. I don't really care which 3 that you list. Figure 20-9. For 3 coronary arteries. Now these supply the blood flow to the heart. There's more than 3, it's probably 5 anyway. The reason I want you to know this is when these things get clogged with plaque, so anything distal to the plaque formation, depending on how severe that the plaque is, the plaque may occlude the blood supply to the distal part right there, and you got a heart attack itself. So this is where bypass surgery comes in. They have to bypass the coronary arteries. They get their blood supply from the base of the aorta. The base of the aorta is where the coronary arteries are fastened to, okay? I want you to know that. Now, cardiac stenosis and cardiac insufficiency. These are valve problems. Stenosis is an incomplete opening of the valve, an incomplete opening. Insufficiency is an incomplete closure of the valve. So stenosis with an O, opening with an O, that's the way that you can remember that. Stenosis is an incomplete opening. Insufficiency is an incomplete closure of the valve itself. Now both of these are caused a heart murmur, which is a defective heart valve. It's interesting that defective heart valve or heart murmur sounds like a swishing sound. Shoo, shoo, shoo. There's no crisp noise between the lub and the dub, the closure of the AV valves and closure of the pulmonic and the aortic valves. And it should be at lub, dub, lub, dub, lub, dub. But when there's a murmur right there, it's lub, shh, dub, shh, lub, shh, dub, shh. It sounds just like that. Blood flowing back and forth through the valves. Whether it's an incomplete opening or an incomplete heart closure, that is a heart murmur itself. Not even on your sheet, I don't think. Not yet, anyway. Okay. Coronary ischemia. Oh, wait a minute. The first 3 branches off the aortic arch. Oh, yeah, I knew I missed something right here. Figure 20-6. Turn to figure 20-6 lists the first 3 branches off the aorta. I knew I'd forgotten something right there. All right. I want, in order, brachiocephalic trunk, left common carotid, left subclavian. That is your answer to that objective. Those are the first 3 branches off of the aorta. Brachiocephalic trunk, left common carotid, left subclavian. All right? That's just a reference. And those are the first 3 branches off the aorta. Okay? And that is figure 20-6, probably around 690 or something, 695 in your book. Okay? Now, coronary ischemia is no different than any other type of ischemia. Go back and take a look at the definition of ischemia. All right? It is incomplete blood supply, insufficient blood supply to an organ, to a target. So coronary ischemia is incomplete, insufficient blood supply to the heart muscle. Why would we not have enough blood going to the heart muscle itself? Because we got a blockage, total blockage or partial blockage to the heart muscle in the coronary arteries, okay? And this would have to be figured, it'd have to be corrected for. Whether it's bypass surgery or other ways, other means to correct it right there, okay? We probably will take a look at plaque formation in just a few seconds, all right? Now, angina pectoris, angina pectoris right here is a heart attack. It's chest pain. It's all that angina pectoris is. It's chest pain. So when you're active and you're not getting enough blood supply to the heart muscle itself, the cells are going to die. It's just the way that it is. They need more blood, they need more oxygen, they don't get it, they die, and when they die, you've got a heart attack. You've got chest pain. Okay? So angina pectoris is a heart attack. Okay? Now, correction for this right here, I have for you to describe either balloon angioplasty or coronary bypass graft. Two ways to correct for blocked coronary arteries. Not a bypass surgery, okay? But I would like for you to do either one of those. Your choice, I don't really care. So you look in your text, you find me a little bit about either one of those, I'll be happy. Now the cardiac conduction system is next. This is the electrical activity. Cardiac conduction is the electrical activity. It's not the rhythm. It's not the cardiac circulation, which is the valves and the chambers. We've already looked at that right there. This is the cardiac conduction system. Let's take a look at this right here, okay? I know your heart doesn't look like that, but it's the easiest thing for me to draw right here. This is the right side, this is the left side, this is the atria, this is the ventricles that we have right here. Now we gotta have a certain rhythm to our heart rate, okay? We gotta have something to regulate the constriction, contraction of this cardiac muscle cells right here. And this is gonna begin with a pacemaker. There is a node, the SA node. Now a node is a group of muscle cells. It's specialized cardiac muscle cells. You used to think it was neurons, specialized neurons, but it's not. It's cardiac muscle cells that have a normal depolarization. We'll take a look at that here in a few seconds right here. So the pacemaker of the heart is the SA node, and the signal goes, the SA node, sinoatrial is what the SA stands for if you want that. Sinoatrial, over the AV node, sinoatrial, AV node, atrioventricular node right there. Right now, when this sucker starts right here, this is going to be the rhythm of the atria. This is going to initiate contraction of the atria. All right. Now the ventricles, you don't want the ventricles to contract when the atria contract. If you did, this thing would freeze up and not pump anything. So the ventricles have to be relaxed, have to be isolated from the electrical activity of the atria. And what is it that does that? We just covered that. Okay, the fibroskeletal system. So the fibroskeletal system is going to be right in here. It's going to insulate the atria from the ventricle. So SA node, AV node right here. Now we got to have a couple of bundles right here. You got an AV bundle. AV bundle right here, atrioventricular bundle right here. AV bundle. There's a guy named HIS that discovered this. And you may also see the bundle of HIS. You use it or not, AV bundle right here. AV bundle is going to get us down into the ventricles right here, and then we're going to branch off from here. AV bundle branches is next, bundle branches. I'm going to bring it back around here, bundle branches. Bundle branches right here. Now once the bundle branches right here, it's going to go to the left ventricle and the right ventricle. And the left ventricle and the right ventricle. And then the sucker turns up down here at the bottom. Goes to the bottom, it turns up, and it goes to each individual cardiac muscle cell right here. So the bundle branches are going to bifurcate, they're going to extend to activate the cardiac muscle cells themselves. Now, there's a guy named Purkinje that discovered these fibers. Don't have a better word than Purkinje fibers, and that's where it terminates. Purkinje fibers activate, stimulate, regulate the cardiac muscle cells themselves. So bundle branches right here, Purkinje, Purkinje fibers. Purkinje fibers. Okay? Now, that's the normal rhythm of the heart. Don't write this down, but the SA node were to have some pathology, have some disease processes in it. The AV node would take over. All right? If this thing were to be damaged wiped out, the AV node would take over. If there's some pathology, some infection in the AV node, the AV bundle will take over. Again, if there's some damage in the AV bundle, the bundle branches will take over. Right? Any damage to the bundle branches, the Purkinje fibers will take over. This heart wants to beat. That's the point I want to make to you. This heart wants to beat. Okay? You don't have to know that about the conduction, but you do have to know this right here. Okay. Now let's take a look at the generation of the action potential at the SA node. I have a drawing I'd like for you to take a look at on figure 2011. Hopefully it's the same with you. Figure 2011, and it's changes in the membrane potential, the pacemaker, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the conduction system of the heart. Components of the conduction system, A and B, this is diagram B. All right, so I'm going to take a look at the generation of the action potential at the SA node. All right? I'm going to get rid of this right here. All right. You are familiar with, don't write this down, you're familiar with an action potential right here. Arresting, the threshold, the generation, depolarization, this is what you are familiar with right here, okay? All right. That's what you're familiar with as action potential. It's not the same in the SA node. Now remember, these are cardiac muscle cells themselves. This is not what I want you to draw. Now I don't want you to probably draw it all. If you can draw it, if you can draw it, that's fine. I want you to describe the generation. Instead of drawing it, describe it, because some of you can't draw on your pads or whatever the hell you call those things. Anyway, so this is what I want. Let's talk about it and we'll have a description of it right here. All right? This is my potential difference. Negative and zero and positive.